The ECJ would want to strike this down as soon as possible. So for whoever gets grandfathered in this process and retains this ability to naturalize without striking tax residency, this is the only pure paper residency to citizenship option in the world. This is one of the best programs. So there are three types of golden visas in the EU. And when you talk about golden visas, what it really means is it's a paper residency, it's a paid paper residency. So you don't have to physically live there. The problem with physically living in a country, there are a couple of problems. One is people are stuck in their home country. They have businesses around the globe. They don't have the time to go and sit in an EU nation to satisfy physical presence. The second and the main problem that a lot of people face is they cannot strike tax residency. The moment they get into that complication, then they trigger double taxation, and then you're looking at tax treaties, and you won't necessarily want to change your tax residency. You would not want to get from one trap to another. You don't want to strike two traps. So you still want to have the residency. Either you're looking for access to the EU anytime, access to the EU. It's a flexible paper residency, but in Europe, which is at a premium. Yes, Latin America is easy, but who wants to go to Latin America? People want to obviously travel to those 28 important EU nations. That is where this residency really is in demand, very valuable, very desirable as compared to any other residency. And if you're not interested in paying taxes, you're not interested in physically spending time to keep this alive, that is the need that golden visa satisfies. And that's why a lot of countries that are looking for money, looking for wealth, want to satisfy that need of the investor, provide the paper residency, make them pay more for that kind of status, golden visa status, so that they get what they want and these countries get your cash, get your money, get the investments. Now, three of the top choices in EU which really satisfy different use cases. The first one is Latvia. I'm going to compare and contrast the advantages. At the end of this video, you're going to realize which golden visa makes sense for which kind of investor, what is the use case that each golden visa type satisfies. And if you have always been interested in that EU residency, you would understand which golden visa would be the right for you. And before I deep dive, a quick disclaimer: this is not investment, immigration, legal, or tax advice. This is my own assessment, analysis on this topic. We have attorneys that specialize in these visa types. You can always click the link, book a call. We can discuss and then get you started with the right attorney for the right visa from start to finish. And when I say visa, it's obviously the residency. The first one on this list is the cheapest golden visa. So it does satisfy specific kind of people's needs that are not looking to invest a lot of money. They want to shell out the least amount of money and obtain a golden visa. This one starts at 60,000 euros. You're putting 50K in a business, and then 10K is going to be the state fee. So that's all that you're looking to invest. And the money that you're putting in business is not completely gone, right? You're investing this money, but it gets stuck, of course. So you got to look at keeping that for the duration of the golden visa. You're looking at a temporary residency. This is not a permanent residency. Of course, you're looking at a temporary residency. You strike this for 5 years, then you jump over or switch over to a permanent residency. So this is at the lowest threshold. It is 60,000 euros. Now let's shift gears and focus at a slightly more expensive one, but this satisfies a lot of use cases, which is a golden visa through real estate purchase. The big drawback, before I move into the real estate based golden visa, the big drawback of Latvia is that the citizenship is almost, just forget about it. This is not good if you're looking for citizenship, because it's going to take 10 years of physical presence. Yes, the visa might be golden, the residency might be golden, so you don't have to physically reside in the country to save your residency. But if you're talking about being eligible to qualify for citizenship, this is where this visa really falls short. Here's the big drawback. If you're looking for citizenship, then the underlying golden visa residency isn't going to be beneficial. They're going to want you to be a tax resident for those 10 years, know the local language, clear the civics and culture tests, and then you would be able to naturalize. And believe me, 99% of the people won't be looking at a citizenship through Latvia. It's almost next to impossible. unless there's a rare exception where you can speak the language. So this is the first one with its advantages and disadvantages. Biggest advantage is the cheapest. Biggest disadvantage is that citizenship is obviously not going to be possible. After 5 years, you can get the permanent, and then you can continue to keep the permanent if that's what your end goal is. Then Latvia gets you in at a very low entry price point. The second one on this list is the Greece golden visa. Here you're looking at purchasing a property. So you're putting in 250k euros in the right locations. Not everywhere. The price has gone up for most areas. But let's say you want to get in at the lowest possible threshold, 250k euros, and you're in. And you purchase a property. This is the real estate. This is your property, so you possess the property. Then you're looking at some state fees, some government fees, etc. So that's going to add a little bit of cost, but you're looking at around 250 to 70k euros. This is going to give you the golden visa, which is the flexible residency, the paper residency. So you can obviously live in Greece in your property, but then you can travel to any of those EU nations. You have flexibility for 90 days to travel, to come back. There's no physical presence required to maintain this golden visa. That's the major advantage of Greece. The biggest disadvantage of Greece is that, again, like Latvia, this is not going to lead to EU citizenship. Now, theoretically, it's possible. Yes, you can live there for 7 years. Again, if you are talking about being eligible for citizenship, it's different from maintaining the golden visa or the paper residency. Just to maintain it, you don't need physical presence in the country. But if you're looking to get the citizenship, then of course you got to have tax residency for 7 years, give the Greek language test, cultural test, civics test, and all that kind of fancy stuff, right? Even the Greeks would find those kind of tests intimidating. And if you're not going to physically live there, you're not going to be able to cope up with that much burden of then naturalizing in the country. It is almost going to be impossible for 99% of you guys watching. So if you're not looking for citizenship, Greece makes sense. Now, what is the difference between Latvia and Greece? The biggest difference is Latvia is the cheapest. If you don't care about purchasing a property, all that you got in your bank account is 60k euros to get a golden visa, then Latvia is the only choice, the lowest possible price point. But if you have slightly more money, and if you're really looking for a place to reside, to live while you're there in the EU, and you want to make your base in one EU country and then obviously travel to other EU countries, then the real estate based golden visa would make more sense than the Latvian golden visa, because it's going to be your property. You can possess it, you can rent it, you can live in it, and you can sell it when you don't need it in future. Both visas have the biggest drawback. You're not going to be able to get the citizenship in the end. It's going to be extremely hard to strike that citizenship. This brings us to the third most expensive option, and this is the Portugal golden visa, where you're looking at investing either 325k euros in a hospitality fund. You do get a lot of perks. You do make profit of around 50 to 100k euros at the end. It is a tie-up capital, but it's not a sunk cost, because you're going to get some profit at the end of the term. So after 5 years, you're going to make handsome profit. The rules to apply for citizenship have not changed in Portugal. So yes, as of today, you can still naturalize after 5 years. They're talking about grandfathering existing investors. So if that gets approved, or if that gets accepted, then the people who are already in the loop in the golden visa, who have started the golden visa before the end of this year, before the end of November, may, and this is not certain, right? They can pretty much make any changes they want, but looks like there's a good chance they might be able to keep the 5-year clock once they start that clock. That is why time is of essence. And then it's all about your risk-taking capacity, whether you want to take the risk, you want to take the gamble, you want to go for it. In worst case situation, if the 5 changes to 7, you always have indirect ways of still trying to naturalize in 7 years by acquiring an interim nationality to then qualify. Again, that's beyond the scope of this video. That's the first option, which is 320k in hospitality fund with a developer. The second category is mutual funds, right? 500k euros. You can break this, exit this, get your money back and screw the golden visa if you don't need it in between. But let's say you're okay, you want to keep this. So 500k euros in funds, you're going to get interest. Of course, you're going to make money around 30 to 35% over the period of your investment, which is 5 to 6 years. You can continue to maintain this, keep it for as long as you want, or withdraw it whenever you want. If you withdraw it before 5 years, then you're going to lose your golden visa. It's going to be cancelled. So if you want to exit your investment, you always have that option. You're not locked in. But let's say you wait the distance, you do the 5 years, and the rules change. And let's say you're waiting for the 7-year clock or the 10-year clock. You can always decide to keep this fund active for slightly longer. There's always the flexibility. And don't forget that they might still keep the conversion to permanent residency after 5 years. So you might not need the golden visa for the distance. You convert to permanent residency, maintain the permanent residency, and then apply for citizenship based on whatever rule applies to you. So 325, 350 to 500k based on the flexibility that you're looking for. What is the biggest advantage? It does have the same advantages as the Latvian or the Greek golden visa, but there's no physical presence required. The other advantage with Portugal is that it's slightly better to live and to spend time as compared to, let's say, Latvia or Greece. More people would love to experience Portugal. They would feel that the Portugal has a good life, has a better life to offer than Latvia. Greece, again, if you compare Greece with Portugal, 90% of the people would want to physically spend time in Portugal as opposed to Greece. So that's where Portugal obviously is more premium. And finally, and the most important thing is that Portugal now remains the only country which is going to give you citizenship without being a tax resident. So by continuing to maintain the physical presence of the underlying golden visa, Portugal will let you naturalize in the country. This is a very special and a unique benefit. The ECJ would want to strike this down as soon as possible. So for whoever gets grandfathered in this process and retains this ability to naturalize without striking tax residency, without being a physical resident of Portugal, this is the only pure paper residency to citizenship option in the world. This is one of the best programs. Obviously, the cost is high, the investment threshold is high, but don't forget, this is your money. It's in your control. You can always get it back. So in that sense, if you're looking to spend a little more, then Portugal would be the best option. So to summarize, which is the best golden visa in the world? Obviously, it's Portugal. It's clear from this video why Portugal is the number one. Which is the cheapest EU golden visa in the world? It's Latvia. So if money is an issue, if money is a problem, if citizenship does not matter to you, then Latvia is the best golden visa. If you're purely looking to get the bang for your buck, don't want to waste any money, you want to have your own property, all you're looking for is freedom of movement within the EU, then of course Greece is the right choice if you're not looking for citizenship. And if citizenship is important, at the end you want citizenship, you want a premium place to stay, then of course Portugal is the number one golden visa. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Which is the best golden visa, the golden visa you would consider, and why? And I'll be reporting changes to each of these golden visas. Any introduction of any new golden visa, you would be the first one to be notified. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. It really helps this channel grow. It helps me get you valuable content. And I promise you, I'll keep you updated on all the changes as they happen. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and catch you in the next one.